TOA, Fit Body Forever, and Fit Body Bootcamp communities. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Robert Linkle with TrainingTheOlderAdult.com. Nice to see you all. Hope you're doing well. We are here today to talk about some old-fashioned training techniques. But before we do that, I wanted to give a quick little overview of our 2025 TOA Select talking points coming up. We have 12 amazing presentations that are going to come up next year. Each one of these launches the first day of each month. Be released live, presentations, Q&A, etc., along with all of our other course content, everything else that comes out throughout the year. So if you are interested in that, head over to trainingtheolderadult.com and learn more about that. Without further ado, let's dive in here. This is our first training video, is training techniques in the 1920s. Let's see how things have maybe progressed a little bit since then. All right, right out of the gate here, we've got looked like a back extension. We've got a strap hooked up around the neck. I'm sure that's great. I love the attire too, by the way. What's the guy doing in the background? What's he doing? Just staring? Is he, I don't know what contraption he's on, but it looks like some kind of counterweight. Oh, maybe the first plate loaded machine. Yeah, look at that. Looks like there's a little plate on there hooked around the neck and working on his back extensions. Look at all the belts and everything in this. Okay, here we go. This is a tantrum machine. This is a pedal bike. I see something spinning in the background there, and we're getting some hip flexor work. Yeah, probably not the best. Plus, you get sweaty in this three-piece suit. I don't know how comfortable that's going to be. Probably not the best. Oh, here we go. All right, we're getting fully strapped in with this one, tethered to do full back extensions, hyper extensions even. And does he have counterweights on there for his ankles? Ouch. Oh, here we go. Work on the old love handles. Gentleman had his jacket on still. Look at this with the watch. I love it. It's like a leg press, some kind of pendulum leg press. Look at these guys. And come on. You got it. Look at the smile. At the very end, she's like, "Well, this is doing nothing. This is fun. Where did I give you? Did I give the tickets? 2 tickets for this ride? This is ridiculous." I wish I could find I need to find one that is the belt, the jiggler, the one that jiggles the fat off. I got to find some of those. I actually saw quite a bit of those. I think they were at like. Geez, it wasn't a. Oh, that's the same one. It wasn't like a swap meet. Maybe it was. I don't know. But they had just a full collection of the little shakers. There were a whole bunch of them, and they were expensive. I was kind of shocked. I was like, man, you guys know these don't work, right? Like they're not actually functioning pieces of equipment. I mean, they were, but they don't actually do anything. But you stand on them, and they jiggle away the fat. All right, here's a little bit better one. And now we're in the 1950s. Things have developed a little bit. We're into the free weights. Right away, I'm just going to point out the spotter and the short sleeves so you get full bicep exposure. Great technique here. This is already starting off well. Whoa, that's really loud. Let's take that down a little bit. All right, I love the 1950s style of talking like you're introducing the Chicago Cubs. I love that. I wish that was still a thing that people still did. Dumbbell bench press. This is great. Some old-fashioned weights. Look at these. This was a 10-minute process. You had to get a Allen wrench, or these old ones had like an Allen wrench built into it that you would unscrew, and those collars basically would come off. All this rust would break off the bar when you do it. You'd slide on the plates that you'd want, and then you'd slide this thing back on there, and you'd have to turn it. Now, if you put it on backwards, the bar that you went to turn would hit the plate, and it wouldn't tighten down. So you had to take it off, turn it around, put it back on there, you tighten it. And, of course, this is pre-exercise. So you're tightening that thing down, and you're like, I don't want this stuff to fall off. So you wrench it down there. You do all your sets. Now you're fatigued, and you can't you're too tired to unscrew it at the end. This happened to me so many times. I had a set very similar to this, in, the late 1980s. I started to lift in like 89. I was like 9 or 10. I got a bench press in my house, and I was just dicking around, just trying to figure out. I could do deadlifts, and I could do bench press and some rows, and it had a little quad extension thing on the edge of the bench, and it was fine. But when I was 13 is when I went to a gym and actually got to like lift with real equipment, good stuff, that kind of thing. But yeah, I had a set very similar to this, maybe one from the 1950s. And her range of motion, really good, all the way down, all the way up. All right, here's one of my least favorite exercises. These abdominal type crunch exercises, basically anything like this, you are using so much hip flexor. We'll call it the QL, quadratus laborum, rectus femoris, your abdomen, and rectus femoris, your hip flexors, and then your rectus abdominis, your abdomen. You're using all this musculature, and the majority of those are originating off of your lumbar spine and going over the top of your hip and grabbing onto your femurs and pulling them up. It's a lot of wrenching on the lower back if you don't do this really, really well. Now, she's got a nice plaid blanket down on the ground there, got a little neck support. Okay, spotter there. Again, just checking to make sure that I don't know how to spot a leg lift improperly. So it's got a good pump going. That shirt couldn't be any tighter. That's one of my least favorite exercises. I wouldn't do those. This I love. This, for a moment, I thought she was in a Smith machine. Doesn't it look like she's in a Smith machine? But I think that's either a mirror or a walkway behind her. But I thought she was in a Smith machine. And look at these old York plates down here on the floor. Oh, those are classic, man. Super, super poor gym etiquette. You never put plates against drywall like that. They're just going to chip away and destroy your wall. You definitely don't want to do that. You either lean them up or put them back on the tree is where you should be, the weight tree. But the overall value of these old school plates and these bars, super, super good stuff. I mean, I'm sure there's lead in them and all kinds of stuff that's not healthy for you to be sweating on and then absorbing into your skin. But she's got a lovely little outfit on. She's got her high heels on still, it looks like, up on this platform while squatting. And this is basically a modern day heels elevated quad dominant squat. Look at the technique here too. Like, this is a decent strategy. Let's go back right here. Okay. Oop, I missed it. Let me go back right there. Okay, this technique, look at that range of motion. That is phenomenal. The fact that she's squatting like that and not in a Smith machine is really, really good. That's super impressive. Big range of motion, tons of quad dominance here. What I would change is I would have her tilt her chin down just a little bit. That head up position, that was very old school. We did it until the 2000s, I would say. If you were deadlifting or squatting, coaches would always say, look at the direction you want to go. And so, do we want to go down? No, coach, we want to go up. And so you would look up, and that would ideally keep your back into a better position, but really was just wrenching away on your neck. So we've learned better now to kind of compact the chin, drive with the top of the head up, better alignment through, better alignment through the neck. Definitely helps keep the rest of your body in good posture. And the flexibility, I remember reading something just last week that said the average individual no longer has the shoulder dexterity and flexibility to put a bar like this behind their back without causing damage to their shoulders. So this is maybe a little bit of a lost technique where the barbell loaded back squat. We have safety bars now where you can hold on the handles around your neck. We used to take old shower towels and we would figure eight it around the bar and then hold the shower towels here, right? And hold the bar against our neck against our back there, as we would squat, and kind of created like a mock safety bar, if you will. The new safety bars, as you'll see in some of the next videos we get into, are really, really impressive. So this is amazing technique. What a great quad pump. And again, you always have to have your nice scarf or stash or whatever that is. All right, the calf pump. This one, chain descending all the way down, and then you got some plates on there, barefoot, right, on an iron block, barefoot on an iron block doing her calf pumps here. That's pretty impressive. Range of motion could be a little better. She could allow her heels to drop a little more right there. I mean, that's basically where your feet go, when you're walking. The point of elevating your feet up onto the block is to lower your heels and go subfloor. So go a little deeper, right? Get a big gastroc, big soleus stretch that Achilles, and then have a big range of motion where you kind of peak up. Brad Schoenfeld did a study about foot placement when you're doing calf pumps, and should you internally rotate your feet or turn them straight or turn them out. And I believe the findings on that said that across the board, all three pretty much produced, good results, but that the toes out, I think toes out got a little bit more recruitment and a better range of motion, something like that. But the overall feeling was it doesn't really matter, for the most part, where you put your feet at, whatever's most comfortable, etc. You don't really have like, a medial calf, a lateral calf, and a central calf that, I'm going to get one more than the other. If you're plantar flexing and dorsiflexing your feet, you're going to move it up and down. You're going to target them all. So pretty cool here. I'd be careful barefoot, especially on metal. Look at all those plates just thrown against the wall. Man, this is my least favorite exercise of all time. I think the vertical leg press is just ridiculous. Terrible for your back. It forces you to tuck your butt, round your butt at the bottom there. I've never been a fan of this. We had clients at the country club that I started. Oh, look at her knees, bowing and buckling in. Ugh, not a fan. Look at the knees. The knees like go out at the bottom, and then she bows them in and almost touches them together right there. Oh, those circles in there on the knees, not great. We had a client that would do that all the time in the Smith machine. And I remember going over and I'm just like, you're just rolling the dice here with your life, man. She would press the bar up and then roll it with her feet and then leg press up and down. I'm like, you missed this once, you're going to get snapped in half. And there's videos of that happening. So I wouldn't suggest doing that. There's way better. Just squat. Just learn how to squat. It's so much better for you. Behind the neck pull down. Well, pretty cool device. Look at this bar. This bar has a curve in it, so she can get a greater range of motion. Look at that. That's pretty advanced for 1950s, because a straight bar would stop right about where she's at, right? She wouldn't be able to go any lower because the bar would be touching the back of her neck. So they put a curve in it so she can get that extra 2, 3, 4 inches. Look at that range where it just kind of curves right around her back at the bottom. That's really cool. The forward neck position, pretty strenuous. And I remember, again, another study that showcased the lat pull down in front versus behind. Didn't have a drastic difference in lat development, etc. I don't want to say, I don't think it was a significant difference between front and back, maybe a couple of percentage points here and there, but nothing major where you'd be like, dude, you got to do this behind your neck for this maximum value. Both are just fine. And there were greater stresses at the neck when the bar was behind. So we don't really typically advise people to pull bars behind their back or behind the neck or behind the head press as well. It's just a lot of stress on the shoulders, and there's safer ways to kind of go about this. But pretty cool device to definitely help you. You could always use that in the front, and it would just curve around your chest. And again, looks like it's plate loaded, on a pulley. So here we go. We've got the gal doing the leg raises on the left, calf pumps in the back. We've got an overhead press machine going there, getting the shoulders. We didn't get to see this one one-on-one. And then we got bench press going here. There's a famous photo of, it's like an overhead tricep extension that she's doing there. That's cool. Is it behind the head? Yeah, behind the head tricep. That's very cool. There's a famous photo of Marilyn Monroe, and she's pressing some dumbbells on a bench like that. Actually, one of my clients, Ruth, has it in her house, in her home gym. And I love that photo. It's got to be 60s, 1960s, early 70s, and just showcases. She's got like a head bandana on, I want to say, and just showcasing like ladies putting in the work, man. Like, this is fantastic. A whole in the 50s. Now, at this time, if these ladies went out and just walked around and told everybody they were just at the gym lifting weights, they would have been laughed at and looked at as a freak. Like, that would have been the most odd thing for people to say. Like, this subculture of resistance training at this time was very odd. Excuse me. And people did not recognize the value in resistance training at all. I mean, obviously some people did. They're doing this, but it was very underground, if you will. This was not a, hey, I'm just going to walk in off the street and the doors are open, everybody comes in and works out, and it's just this fun, acceptable thing. This was in somebody's basement, and nobody really talked about this at the time. The 60s, things started to change a little bit. You start to have beaches that are showcasing weight rooms, like in Venice Beach, etc. Things become a little bit more common, but even then, people walking by are looking at them going, what are these guys doing out here? It was very strange. It was very odd. It was taboo almost in a sense of like, this is so strange to see all these people out here moving weights around for what? Like they just end up in the same spot that they started with them. Why are they doing this? As opposed to I'm moving lumber from one side of my yard to the other, or something like that, right? And then in the 70s and 80s, Arnold and Jane Fonda and Jack LaLanne. LaLanne was in the 50s and 60s and was getting on TV doing this stuff. Still, people thought it was a bit of a freak. And again, I think he still has the record for like longest tenure for a television show of 30-something years. You had Schwarzenegger, you had Stallone, you had Carl Weathers, you had all these action heroes, that were coming along showing off these great physiques. The ladies, Linda Hamilton in Terminator was a big one, and then Jane Fonda and Denise Austin and Suzanne Summers, and you have these generational talents of health and fitness that came through and were featured in TV shows and in movies, and the whole time really emphasizing Christy Brinkley, right, Chuck Norris, all of them like really showcasing the value of resistance training and how it's helped prolong their career and improve their quality of life, etc. Like Sylvester Stallone and Arnold, both of them. Arnold especially, his whole career was built off of his physique. Nobody brought him over here to the U.S. to make movies because his acting was so good, right? They were really impressed with his physique that he had built, and they said, if we had to find someone that looked like Hercules, that's the dude, right? So let's get him over here, and we'll dub over him because nobody can understand what he's saying. That was his first, Hercules in New York movie, and then eventually his English got better, and he started to make better movies, and he became a better actor for sure. I've got some favorites. I've seen every single Arnold movie, and Stallone is the much better actor, but Arnold's probably more entertaining. I don't know. Either way, it became much more common. We have all these individuals to thank for bringing that to the forefront, but it started in gyms just like this. So anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this. Any comments, questions, feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. Please share and subscribe, like the channel, help us grow. We appreciate it. Hope you're all doing great. Continue to fight your good fight against sarcopenia, and we'll see you next time. Take care.